Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Raphaël de Courville. I'm the processing community lead at the Processing Foundation, and with me is Davé, who's the project lead for the processing project. We are here to talk to you a bit about creative coding as well as education. Just by a quick show of hands, who has heard of the concept of creative coding before here in the room? Okay, nice. Okay, but it's still worth explaining. So creative coding is a method that uses programming for artistic expression. That's kind of the simplest definition. It focuses on discovery and iteration rather than following strict rules or predefined specifications. It's not to say that other kinds of programming are not creative. They are in their own way, but it is, it's a label for a certain practice of coding. The term originated, as far as I could trace it back, to 2004 in the book Creative Code by John Maeda. This is a book that features projects and writings from Maeda's students from the Aesthetics plus Computation group at MIT. John Maeda's work and teaching played a critical role in building bridges between design and computational practices. And one particularly important piece of software that came out of the ACG was Design by Numbers. It's from 1999, and it was developed by students under the direction of John Maeda, and it became this influential experiment in trying to teach programming to designers and to artists. So DBN was kind of this first attempt at giving people outside of traditional computer science environments, especially designers, an experience of computation that was kind of more visual and intuitive to them at least. And later, two of Maeda's students who had worked on DBN expanded on the concept and created something called processing. It was going for the same idea of building this bridge for designers to get into computation, but it also wanted to be more than just an experiment and be a bona fide tool that you could actually use in a design practice. It also emphasized the idea of community, and the idea that you could share your processing sketches online was a huge part of it. And a lot of that was built into the tool, and a lot of people made and hosted, self-hosted their own tool, their own websites to showcase the work that they were making in processing. But it's not just a story of the past. Processing is still out there today, actively developed. It is presented as this flexible software sketchbook and programming language for learning how to code, and you can find it at this repository. We'll talk more about that in a second. One of the concepts that the creators of processing, Ben Fry and Casey Rees, really wanted to convey is this idea of sketching with code. This means that it's a practice of coding that's more free-flowing and open-ended than most software development at the time, and it is more or less synonymous with creative coding, some people might argue, but yeah, so that was this, and this is the reason why programs inside of processing are called sketches. And this is a completely valid sketch in processing. So it's drawing a line from one set of coordinates to another, and this compiles in processing, it runs. As Andres said in the previous talk, when you want beginners to understand basic coding concepts, every little detail matters, and this is why processing is designed the way that it is. This is, if you will, the equivalent of a Hello World program, but for designers this is kind of more exciting already. It sets a very low floor for getting started, and with only a little bit more code you can make it interactive. So this is a little drawing program. This is like even a drawing app. So as a designer, you can very quickly get a sense of empowerment that you can build your own software tools. You can build your own design tools. You don't need to rely on the software from Adobe, for example. And another concept of processing, important concept, is that with a single page of code, you can already build some really fun and interesting things. And for educators, in the context that we're in today, what is very interesting is that this is an exciting way to introduce basic coding concepts such as for loops. or nested for loops if you want to make a grid. And personally, if I was to give a workshop about creative coding or a class about creative coding, I would spend 6 months on grids because there's so much you can explain through this. But yeah, there's a lot of flexibility, and for artists and designers, it's also really interesting because it's expressive. It gives you the ability to explore, experiment, and build a variety of things without having to build a whole machine around it to make it work or just display a window. And finally, what's very important in processing is the editor itself. So you can write processing in IntelliJ, Eclipse, but processing has its own editor, and it is very minimal by design. So only the essentials, doesn't have any distractions, no unnecessary features, no AI, and you can just use it as this nice sketchbook. That's the metaphor. If a full IDE is like a printing press, processing editor would be a sketchbook. This year, processing will celebrate its 25th anniversary. We'll be in Linz for Ars Electronica. Can I say this? I don't know. To celebrate. But you didn't hear it from me. And this kind of longevity is kind of rare in open source. And it's a testament to the thoughtful design that Ben and Casey put in the original software, but also to the many contributors who have contributed to the project over the years. I don't have time to get too much into details in the history, but if you're interested, these 2 articles are what I would recommend to get a bit of background on the project. All right, and with that, I'll pass it on to Moon.
Okay. Thanks, Raphael. Hi, everyone. I'm Moon. Use she, her pronouns. I'm the processing project lead. And I'm going to go to the next slide. Let's see. Okay, so a concept I want to introduce is the one of low floors, high ceilings, wide walls, and another concept that we're a big fan of is the open door. A low floor is just kind of where do you start, and it's a term that was coined by Seymour Papert, who invented Logo, if you're familiar with Turtle Graphics, which is the greatest graphics programming environment ever, I think. And it's just about being able to get people started as beginners in your environment. The high ceiling shows what's possible. And Michael Resnick wrote an article, Designing for Wide Walls, and that refers to opening multiple pathways from the low floor to the high ceiling. So this is just, there are so many paths to get, all roads lead to Rome, right? Or whatever. What else? Oh yeah, so the open door. We're at Processing Foundation, we're all about access and educational access and making sure everybody from many different backgrounds are able to participate in computation and thinking about programming, making art and new media and all of that. And so we just want to keep that door. There are 2 doors. Both of the doors need to be kept as open as possible. Anyways, here's a picture of what I mean by wide walls. There are so many different things that you can do with processing, whether it's physical computing, projection mapping, data visualization, making a little synthesizer or something. That's what I would want to do. Okay, and so this is an example of high ceilings. This is some of Casey Reese's work, one of the if you're paying attention, one of the creators of processing in LACMA in LA. This is the Bitform Gallery. Is LACMA in LA? Yeah, LA for LA. And then this is the MoMI, the Museum of Moving Image in New York City. And then another high ceiling is Times Square. And that's literally so wild to me. Sorry, let's continue. Okay, so another thing, we're on a new topic here. So AI kind of is a challenging subject matter, and I think there's a lot of like evidence and research being done that's showing that it really does like erode like a student's autonomy and their agency. Definitely check out the QR code for this. It's a really good paper, really good read. But basically, you know, when you're a learner, when you're getting started with something, like you don't need anything to help you. Well, you shouldn't have anything like to help you like automatically program for you. Sometimes you do need to grapple with the concepts and like build the models in your head, you know, and at the end of the day, like, you know, when you're shipping code with AI or anything, you're still accountable for it. So however the code was produced, like in 2 years, if there's like a security like vulnerability that gets reported, are you going to be able to get involved and address that? Probably not if you're like overly reliant. Okay. Also, yeah, this is our fun slide. Creative coding is vibey enough. Like we already have vibes. Like the vibes come from the community. The vibes come from the fact that writing line and 2 coordinates is not hard. So like we've solved this problem with creative coding in that like the point isn't like having it. We have like a really simple API that is really accessible that you can use to build super sophisticated projects, and you know, I think like there's also something about gesture too, and like being able to express yourself and like coding as part of the gesture, and like you don't need AI to do that. Anywho, right. So speaking of our simple API, it's also totally stable. It's been the same API from the beginning, mostly. And this is really great for educators since their materials don't become outdated like every time we release something. But this is also like a challenge in that like it can be harder to keep up with like all of the changes in the Java ecosystem, which is, you know, not that much. Java is like pretty stable now, especially after Java 7. But, you know, there are also a lot of different shifts in like best practices in engineering, and like rendering has changed quite a bit. If you have heard of the GPU, there's just like the APIs have totally changed, and like that can also be a challenge. That said, you know, we do want to preserve the things that that people love about processing. We also want to explore new directions. So we are actively developing processing, the one in Java, not just P5. And we have spent the last 2 years improving its dev infrastructure and reducing friction for new contributors. And a lot of that work was done before I even joined. Actually, Steph Tervelda is like a major contributor to like getting us to this point, and we're so grateful for it. And the latest release, we released 4.5. It's like built, that happened because of that 2 years of effort that went in. And this is also, just shout out to Steph who really crushed it. I'm sorry, I'm speaking like I'm from California, which I am. But anyways, these are like some accessibility improvements that we made. That's like a screen reader. It's really exciting for us. And we're updating the UI. We want to make it more welcoming for newcomers. Anyways, what's next? I'll tell you what's next. I love drinking water all the time, but in Europe, like, it always feels fancy. I'm like, like, wow, I've always felt fancy with water without that, but now I know what I've been missing. So, sorry. Okay, so we are exploring open technologies like WebGPU and WebAssembly. I'm so excited about these things. Like, things have changed. Things have like come along so far with these technologies. It's like this is like game-changing stuff for me. I love it, and this is processing running in a web browser. Just like, wow, It's happening. So we're really exploring this stuff. I'm super excited about it. Looking into the next 25 years for the project, we see a lot of promise in the Rust ecosystem, and we are really excited by it. And the projects like the Bevy game engine. I don't know if anyone has heard of that, but that's a 3D game engine written in Rust, and it offers a lot of building blocks that we can use to build on top of it. And it works in the browser, it works on the desktop, and well, I'm excited for it because I want to contribute to processing, but I also want to contribute back to Bevy, and I think that's like the best way to be in open source. Wait, let me say one more thing too. I don't know if anyone was here for the GNU Octave talk, but if you were paying attention, he mentioned something about Fortran being like how people did computation, and like the point of Octave is actually similar to processing in that, you know, they wanted people to focus on learning statistics and not dealing with Fortran. So as this slide is here with the word Rust, I want to say we're still committed to people like being able to program in a way that is focused on creativity and like thinking, like computational thinking, not learning Rust. So Rust is going to be something a little bit different, but I'm not talking about that right now. I'm really excited about it though. Okay. I'm reading the slide right now, I'm sorry, but we are committed to making processing stand the test of time, not just by preserving its legacy, but also by inspiring newcomers and experts alike. And we really want to expand what anyone can do with processing. I'm going to pass it back to Raphaël. Thanks.
Thanks, Moon. That was great. So yeah, we're here together with a small delegation of the Processing Foundation. You'll see their faces in a second. The Processing Foundation's mission is to promote software learning within the arts and artistic learning within technology-related fields. And we support people of all backgrounds learning how to program and make creative work with code, as you've seen. Especially those who may otherwise not have had access to these tools or resources. We do run some fellowship programs and dev grants. You can find a lot of that on our website, which is at the QR code there, or processingfoundation.org. It's also easy to remember. We do need donations. We are supported by the community, so if you like what you see and you want to support it, feel free to do that. We will appreciate it a lot. Talking about this, part of the work that we showed today, but also more of it, and moving forward, is carried out through a service agreement with the Sovereign Tech Fund. I don't know if the STA team is in the room. Are they? Is there anyone? I can't see. But yeah, would like to express our deepest gratitude to them. Yeah, they really do understand the value of supporting this often invisible work that goes into open source software. And we want to thank them for investing in the future of processing. No, there's no, yeah, just, they didn't make it, oh no. I thought they would be there and then we would clap and it would be great. But yeah, any claps that come later are just 50% of those claps that you're going to do at the end. Go to them. So, yeah, thank you for having us. You can come talk to us after the talk. See the faces there. Well, you've seen us, but Shin is over there, and Roxana is somewhere here. It's here. She's here. Yeah, you can find us on all the things up there. This is a QR code that goes to processing.org, but we are on Mastodon and Blue Sky and Instagram. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. We have a question already.
Okay, questions.
It's your fault because you mentioned that.
Yes, good.
I'm always interested in seeing a new way to program. I'm always interested in seeing new ways and new experiments on how to program things. And from what I understand, processing is one way that's very traditional, and Bevy is extremely different with the entity component system, which I think is extremely interesting.
This is a really great question because it definitely addresses something that like I just want to be super clear about. So yes, I'm also a fan of the ECS system. What we want to do is actually have an interface that feels very, declarative, like processing. It's still going to be processing, but we're gonna call into Rust, and we'll leverage the ECS that way. But we're not directly exposing the ECS to like a learner.
Okay, so you're not opening a new way to program.
Yes, we're opening up the capabilities that come from the incredible work that is happening in Bevy, and but we're not saying now you're going to program in Rust. We're not saying that. We're not saying
but
now.
ECS doesn't have to be Rust.
No, that's true. But so that's not something we have to say no to, though, right? So we're not specifically like trying to implement things that way. That said, that's something we can talk about, and if it's something that's interesting to people, because I think that's a great idea. That's something we can maybe get onto the engineering roadmap, especially if that's something you want to propose to the community. Well, no, don't feel overwhelmed. But it's just but we do have like a GitHub repo and everything too, so we're experimenting. Did I answer your question? Okay, great.
One question I forgot to ask you, that was on one of my slides and I didn't read the notes, but who had heard of processing before this talk? Just a quick show of hands. Okay, yeah, wow, okay, cool. But there's still some people who didn't, so that's great. It's worthwhile for us to be here. Do we have other questions in the room? We still have a few minutes, so don't be shy. Well, yeah, please.
So on the examples in the beginning, there were some kind of simple program where you do strokes with your mouse.
Yeah.
Which I think it's like raster graphics.
Yes. You can export to vector graphics if you want to, so it supports both.
Yes. Okay. And is there support for vector?
Yeah. You can export to SVG. A lot of processing users are using processing for plotter drawings, so drawing robots. So you can export from processing and do that.
Okay. Can I also ask one follow-up? So I made the stroke, it's imperfect.
Yes.
I have to go back and correct the coordinates for my final art. I need to write all the code that tracks the coordinates and saves and fixes.
By design, yes. Yes, that is the point. The drawing app thing it's an example of what you can do. If you want to make a real drawing app, like fully featured with undo and whatever, you will have to learn about data structures and do that yourself. But yeah, that's on purpose. The thing is, there's a big community of people who have done this before. So you could also look at the work that people have done in the community, whether it's processing Java, P5.js, processing Python. There's tons of examples, including in the software itself, where we have a lot of examples that ship with the PDE, the processing editor on desktop. So yeah, that's. I hope that helps. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll finish early. We have a lot of stickers here and on the table over there. So if you like this logo, you can have it on paper. And that's it. Thank you very much.